Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. We stand, we fight, we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is free from slavery. Free from slavery. Free as a man to slavery. Free as a man to slavery. Free as a man to slavery. Free from slavery. Free from slavery. Yeah. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
اهلا بك امباسادور نندر مجددا. انا عارف البرنامج اليوم برنامج كبير جدا جدا، وانا ما داير بس امشي كده لانه طبعا الاربع ساعات الاولى انتهت، عشان كده كل زول مشى، فنتمنى انه يرجعوا ونكمل. هنعمل another 1 hour. انا بدي ساعه ثانيه عشان الجمله تكون 5 ساعات. انا داير اديك الفورم لانه انت كنت قاعد تتكلم، وبعد كده انا بجيب استاذ دينجديد ويجيب استاذ ايار ايضا. اتفضل سليمان.
انت عارف يا جنكر، انا بشكر دينجديد ايوه، عمل حاجه سريعه جدا وجابه. يا جماعه الثورات في العالم كلها واحده، يعني لما نشوف بس ابسط حاجه الربيع العربي. الربيع العربي ده ما ابتدى في مصر، وابتدى في مشى الجزائر ومشى تونس وهكذا. فالافكار ذاته ما عندها اجنحه، بتمشي. الافكار دي ما ممكن تقول لنا مثلا فلان سرق فكره. لو اننا بنتكلم كده ما بنستعمل حتى الفيسبوك ده يا جنكر.
بالظبط كده.
والحاجه المهمه اللي انا لاحظته بعد ما دينجديد ايوب جاب الكلام ده، دكتور جون قاعد يتكلم معانا بالعلم. ما انت لما تشوف الجبهه، واشكر ايمانويل اجاوين ذاته اثار الموضوع ده. انت جبهه البلساريو ده، ما ديل فوقهم شنو؟ فوقهم الامازيغ البرابره.
نعم
هم برابره اصلا، صح؟ الامازيغ البرابره هم، لو انت لاحظت في السودان ذاته في منطقه اسمه بربر، يعني هم ذاته اسمهم مربوط بالسودان ذاته. بربر في السودان، وهم اسمهم امازيغ وبرابره في نفس الوقت. لغتهم اللغه الامازيغيه، لكن هم اصل كقبيله بيسموهم برابره. مشكلتهم زي المشكله بتاع جنوب السودان، يعني هم واقعين في المغرب تحت الضغط العربي الاسلامي. اننا في جنوب السودان واقعين تحت الضغط العربي الاسلامي، نفس القضيه نفس ما عنده اي فرق. هم طالبوا بحكم ذاتي او انفصال. احنا طالبنا بحكم ذاتي، او يعني معناه العالم بتاعنا ذاته قاعد يحكي قصتنا. لما تمشي لليمن تربط الكلام ده باليمن. ما اليمن انقسم 2، يعني لو انت ما عندك حل ما ده اللغه، معناه العالم ده اللغه ذاته. يعني حتى لو ترجون هسه انا لاحظت، يعني انا بشكر ايمانويل، يعني انه هو جاب لنا حاجه. لما تجي تنظر له تمشي اليمن تلقى اليمن انفصل على 2. معناه اذا في حاجه شلنا من اليمن، رساله للعالم يا جماعه، اذا احنا ما اديتونا حاجه بتاع المغرب بتاع جبهه البوليساريو، احنا هنمشي شنو؟ زي بتاع شنو؟ اليمن. ده معناه الكلام ده كده. فانا داير اقول شنو؟ ده ما هي مشكلتنا، مشكله العالم ما مشكلتنا يا اخوي ايمانويل، ده ما مشكلتنا. احنا لو غيرنا العالم حسه، احنا ذاتنا ما عندنا استطاعه نغير العالم. انت مانويل ما عندك استطاعه تغير العالم، لانه انت قاعد تتكلم عن شنو؟ عن الاجماع. هل الجنوبيين اجمعوا على كده؟ انت ذاتك ما عندك اجماع عشان تتكلم عن العالم. فده قضيتنا عشان نحضر وقتنا وشوف ودانا وين. ثانيا موضوع السودان. يا اخي انا في ليبيا، درست في ليبيا، لقيت كتاب بيتكلم عن تاريخ افريقيا القديم. هل تصدق واحده من اعظم الممالك في ومحسوبه في اسم شنو؟ في السودان يا ده مملكه الشلوك. موجودين وين؟ موجودين حتى في كوستي وفي محل اسمه شبشه. شوف شلوك شبشه، يعني حتى شبشه والمناطق دي كلها كانت بتاع الشلوك، بتاع مملكه الشلوك. من الممالك الكبار، التنجر والداجو ولما ترجع لابانخي وفوق والدينكا ذاته موجودين في الياب. شوف الياب بتاع اليورو ده
في الشماليه يعني.
الشماليه. فانت لما تجي تقول انت داير تتنازل عن السودان، وانت انا ما بلوم مانويل لانه ما قرا التاريخ بتاع السودان. الناس اللي هسه خليناهم لهم السودان اللي انت داير تخلي لهم ان احنا نطلع اجانب وهم يا سودانيين، هم ده عندهم في التاريخ قرينا دخول العرب السودان. فده كله قضايا ثانويه ما يشغلنا، انا بعتبر ده قضايا ثانويه. طيب امانويل داير شنو من الكلام ده كله؟ ليه امانويل جارينا في المحل ده يا جونكر؟ انا قعدت ودرست الموضوع. ايمانويل مش داير يكسر جون ولا داير يكسر الحركه الشعبيه ولا التاريخ، نو. ايمانويل داير انه الناس يبدوا من الصفر. ما الحركه الشعبيه ده عندها اسم شنو الكيان بتاعها، عندها كريدت اوريدي. يعني الحركه الشعبيه صحيح يا جونكر. يعني انا سليمان هسه ممكن ننزل في بحركه شعبيه انا وهو، لو مشينا في شوده وانا نزلت بحركه شعبيه جون سنولين بس نبني، جون سنولين بس نبني الجونكر. لانه في حاجه هم الناسين، هو بيقول يا اخي العالم ده قتلونا به. احنا الجيش بتاعنا بتاع لايو لابس العالم بتاع جنوب السودان ده، ما نزلوا من كتبه. كلنا لابسين. فانا لو بنفس ايمانويل داير ناس يبدو من الصفر، ومش عشان انه عنده مشكله مع دكتور جون ولا عنده مشكله مع منو. هو داير، هو ما عنده كريدت. الحركه الشعبيه عنده كريدت. الحركه الشعبيه عنده سليمان دندرا، عنده فقانا موم. هل فقانا موم حيتنازل عن الحركه الشعبيه؟ لا. عنده ناس كتار، عنده دينالور. فهو داير لما يشيلوا الحركه الشعبيه ده برا، الناس يبدوا من الصفر. هو وقت ده هو بيبدا مع الناس من الصفر. ما بكون مع مشكله الكريدت.
and by the way بالمناسبه ده طالما انت جبت اسم تبقانا منفي ده، انا بوجه سؤال هنا خاص، لانه انا شايف ادوارد جاي يجيب بقانا موم يوم الاثنين هيكون عنده لقاء معه. انا بوجه سؤال هنا: was Dr. John Garang really plagiarized ideas of SPLM liberation movement from the Western Sahara liberation movement, or الايديا كان مستمده من افكاره هو، من افكار بتاع ابناء جنوب السودان؟ ده سؤال انا بوجهه ليه. I want him to answer that question because this
وحتى
is
لو استمداه يا جونكر، حتى لو استمداه، ما حس انت لاحظت اسم شنو قال لك البتاع ده في 6 دول الاندماج. يعني الحتات الفوق الثورات كله الناس بشنو بتشابهوا في الحاجات معهم، بتشابهوا حتى في الاسماء. شوف اقول لك حاجه، العالم ده ما اللغه. العالم لما تتكلم عن العالم لغه، زي الغزاف غير العالم بتاعه اخضر على اساس انه الزراعه والتنميه. فالعالم بتاعنا ده اللغه، انه وكده هم عملوا الحاجات ده. هو قاعد يقول انه مثلا يعني لو ده كلامه صح معناه ان احنا زي مشكلتنا زي مشكله الصحراء الغربيه، مشكلتنا زي مشكله اليمن. دي لغه. لكن اللي انا داير اقوله ده ما ده ما وقته. احنا ما مختلفين مع Emmanuel Ajawin. داير يغيروا العالم هاي. انتظر يا اخي نغير الدوله، نجيب برلمان جديد والناس البرلمانيين يطرحوا الكلام ده ويغيروا العالم. ما في زول بيقدر يتكلم، ده الممثلين شعب. فده ما مشكلتنا وين؟ وده المهم يا جمهور. المشكله المهم انه انتوا في الشوهات ده، وانا بدي كريدت برضه لادوارد فيه. موضوع بتاعت الوحده بتاعت المعارضات كلكم اتكلمتوا فيه، ادوارد كان متشدد فيه فعلا. واحد انتوا في الشوهات بتاعت اللايف شو ده قدرتوا يعني سوما ده
خاصه 2017 شاي السمر بتاع 2017.
يس سوما ده خلقوا 2 منبر. سوما الحسا ده منبر بتاعك ومنبر بتاع ادوارد. يا خلق سوما ده انه وحد المعارضات بضغط من المنبرين ده، بالذات ادوارد وانت وحدوا المعارضات ده. لكن انت عارف بيحصل شنو جو هناك؟ تقاطع مصالح. زي انت ما قلت قبل في زول قال انه اسمه شنو ما عنده رئيس. سوى هسه سوما ما عنده رئيس. ليه؟ لانه تقاطع المصالح جوا المعارضات ما بدي فرصه للمعارضات انه ذاته شنو يوصل لحاجه كويس. فناس ناس اسمه شنو طلعوا من هناك، ناس جاوين وكده ما لقوا موقعهم هناك، طلعوا عملوا السوما. والسوما ذاته حسه عنده مشكله لانه ما في رئيس فيه. انا داير اناشد اخوي ادوارد اتشيك، وانا عارفه راجل نظيف جدا. انا ما ممكن اقول كلمه سيئه فيه واحد، ما بقبل واحد كلمه واحد. انا ما بقول فيه لانه انا عارفه راجل نظيف. والراجل النظيف ده معروف اصله مهما حتى لو عنده اخطاء، ما احنا بشر. يعني انا قاعد اضحك انا لقيت ادوارد لما اجاوين يقول له يا اخي الحركه الشعبيه حركه اجنبيه، وهو بيضحك وحتى بيرددوا. لكن شنو يا
ما that's the problem يا سليمان. انا
خلينا
بقول لك شنو
شغلانه
يا انا بخليك، لانه اساسا when someone come and make allegation in your forum and you are the moderator or host and you laugh what does that mean to your judgment؟ ده بيعني شنو لحكمتك؟
ما انت
يعني
بايد
you agree with that person.
الكلام يعني هم انا قاصد كده هم ايد الحاجه ده، لكن هو لسه هو ذاته هو ادوارد هو حركه شعبيه، لانه وكمان مش حركه شعبيه ساكت، حركه شعبيه الاصل بتاع بقانا الحركه الشعبيه الاصل. فكون انت تكون الحركه الشعبيه الاصل
وتقول
وتقبل كلام يقولوا لك يا اخي انت اجنبي ولازم يغيره، ده كلام غريب جدا جدا. ده معناه في تناقض وما منتبه للموضوع ده. الحاجه الثانيه اللي كمان هو ما قادر يرتكبه وانا متاكد احتمال ما قادر ينتبه له، هو انا شفت الشو بتاعه، هو قال العالم ده اجازوه في 2006 في البرلمان. ادوارد قال كده، يعني هو مؤيد انه العالم ده بيمثل جنوب السودان. ده كلام ادوارد. يا اخي ادوارد انت لو عارف انه العالم ده بيمثل جنوب السودان ما قولوا لإيمانويل ريحنا يا اخي ريحنا نقولوا لإيمانويل قولوا العالم ده بتاعنا. حتى اختي تريزا مع كامل احترامي لها هي قالت شنو؟ قالت انا ما مع حرق العالم، لكن زي كلام كركوجو انا ما مع حرق العالم، لكن العالم بيساوي شنو لروح الانسان. خلينا موضوع روح الانسان، ما نحن روح الانسان ده قاعدين نقاتل فيه. خلينا نرجع للعالم. معناه انت لما تقول انا ما مع العالم معناه انت ما مؤيد الحرب بتاع العالم، صح يا جونكور؟ انت ما مؤيد. طيب يا جماعه انتم ما مؤيدين الحرب بتاع العالم، لكن في معاناه بتاعت المواطنين هو المشكله. ما خلاص خلينا نشيل مشكله العالم ده برا من وسطنا ونركز في موضوع المواطنين، لانه العالم ده لما ندخله بلخبط الدنيا كله، لما نجيب اسم الحركه الشعبيه غيروه بلخبط الدنيا كله، وفي ناس زي نحن لسه الحركه الشعبيه ما حنقبل. فده انا عشان اختم كلامي، لانه اخواني الجو
شكرا.
عشان اختم كلامي عبرك يا جمكور، انا بوجه رساله لاختي تريزا، وده نفس الرساله، ما ده ما رسالتي انا، ده نفس الرساله اللي انا شلته قبل كده من اخوي ناتاليو اغوستينو. انا بوجه نفس الرساله ده تاني لاختي تريزا، بوجه لاختي لاخوي ادوارد اتشيك، وانا اتكلمت معه في موضوع الصلح ده، انا بوجه له برضه الرساله ده انه يحمله. وانا بوجه رساله دائما ولا جاوين يا جماعه خلينا نتجاوز الحاجه اللي حصل ده. ما نحن بشر لازم نغلط، نحن لو ما قاعدين نغلط نحن ما بشر، ما في بشر ما بيغلط، ما في بيوتنا نحن بنتشاكل، حتى اخوك واخت وامك بتتشاكلوا. نمسك كلام كوكوجو، خلينا نتجاوز هذه الخلافات، ما حتودينا قدام. كل زول بيشوف نفسه صح، هم بيشوفوا نفسهم صح، احنا هنا قاعدين نشوف نفسنا هنا صح، لكن وين كده ما حنلتقي.
ما مسألة يا سليمان، انت عارف I attempted 3 times 4 مرات على انه يا جماعه نرجع للمجرى الاولى، انه نحن اخوان، انه هدفنا واحد، we are all opposition، لكن they have been singling me out انه ده واتهموني كمان بانه انا عندي عقل باطني. can you imagine؟
هسه انا بطلب منك يا جنكور، انا بطلب منك قدام الجمهور كله، هل انت مع الصلح؟ لو في صلح انت بتقبل الناس تتصالح؟ سؤالي لك.
انا كنت بنادي بالصلح.
اوكي.
انا كنت
يا
بنادي
جماعه
بالصلح
قدام الناس، انا سليمان دندر
زي ما انا وريتك قبل، زي ما مهما نحن عملنا القاطسون
خلينا نجرب. اسمع، خلينا نجرب علني، علينا قاعدين نجربه كان في التحت ما قاعد يجيب نتيجه، عشان ما في زول يجي يقول لنا انتم ما عملتوه. عن نفسي انا لو انا اخطات لاي زول فيهم يا اخي انا بعتذر قدام الناس، انا بعتذر مش عشان حاجه، عشان لما يجيك اخوانك يقولوا لك يا اخي الحاجه اللي انت قاعد تعمله ده غلط، انا لازم اعرف انه احتراما للناس الجوني ده اقول لهم يا جماعه انا ما ممكن اكرر الحاجه ده. ومن غير وحدتنا، شوف دكتور اسمه شنو قال كلام مهم جدا، اخوي تشارلز دين قال دكتور جون وكنت جاي داير يعمل سلام، مشى اتكلم جاب
شايف زي ده، شايف زي ده، زي ادم ده واحد عجوز وكبير وقاعد من سنه.
معلش دكتور ما تزعل،
لسن واحد عجوز وكبير من سنه قاعد في الدنمارك 30 سنه، هو بيقول شنو؟ قال بعد ما فاز وقع على راس ديل هيز لايك القاطسون، ديل ما عندهم سلام في قلبهم، they inherit hate، those that inherit hate ورثوا الكراهيه زي ديل، زي ادم ديل ناس توديهم وين؟
اسمع جونكور اننا شاكلنا مجلابه 22 سنه، شاكلنا مجلابه 22 سنه
ما بيفهموا ولا دايرين سلام ذاته.
مجلابه قتلوا مننا 2 مليون ونص واننا عملنا معهم سلام. اننا ما تشاكلنا مع بعض يا جماعه، احنا حتحاورنا، حوارنا كان عالي، خليني نسمي الصوت بتاعنا كان عالي، او نفسنا الحاجات اللي جوانا، او استفزينا بعض. هل ده بيمنع ان احنا نتراجع ونتصالح ونرجع زي زمان؟ ما زمان اجاوين بيجي في الفورم ده ما في مشكله، تريزا بيجي في الفورم ده ما في مشكله، انا بمشي في الفورم بتاع ادوارد ما في مشكله، بمشي في الفورم بتاع تريزا، انا
حاضر يا ولد.
تريزا ده قاعد امشي ما في مشكله. ليه؟ شنو المشكله؟ لو ان احنا حسينا احنا مشينا غلط ودارين نتراجع عشان نمشي في الطريق الصحيح.
في كلام انا قلته قبل، انا قلت لك I guarantee you اني ادوارد اتشيك قلبه هو بس he has been driven away. اوكي، هو بس ماشي مع اليناي ده مع الرياح. he has been driven away. لكن اصلا الراجل في عنده سلام، وانت مذكر 3 مرات attempted always وبقول امشي اساله تريزا.
عموما
عموما
نحن
انا عارف يوم ما نحن هنقعد معاهم في الترابيزه including Emmanuel Ajawin، لكن اما هم القاطسون هي وراكم الاسبوع اللي فات انه انا اللعيمه واللعيمه، واثبتت لعامتها من خلال ثلاثه attempts I attempted.
برضه انا بترجع.
I don't think so. We are going to waste time. We are going to focus on issue that bugging people of South Sudan. That's what we need to do. دير سلام اهلا وسهلا، ما دير سلام دير تقول جونكو دي جين كانسل فيلدرز، دير تقول جونكو دي كير ذاته قولوا، لكن action بين the people of South Sudan what I'm doing. Okay. So
انا ده خلينا نتكلم نيابه عنك ونيابه عن المعارضات، رغم انه انا زول بتاع حكومه. يا جماعه سيب انا خليك موضوع حكومه ده، كان احنا الجنوبيين الوضع اللي احنا فيه ده قاعدين نشوش المواطنين بتاعنا ذاته، قاعدين نشوش المواطنين بتاعنا، حتى المواطنين بتاعنا منقسمين علينا، كل زول مع زول، كل زول بيمشي ورا ظهر زول. ما المستفيد الاول النظام حيقعد، والنظام ده انا افتكر لو كبيهم حددوا وقال كلامه فيه وما في زول هيقدر يغير الكلام ده. فمن مصلحتنا، وانا بناشد اختي تريزا من المنبر ده، يا اخي ما ولا نرد لبعض، الحمد لله ما في زول الزول هنا، ولا نرد لبعض، ولا خلينا نصهر للجنوبيين. احنا ناس ممكن نكون كبار، وممكن ان احنا نقدر نتجاوز خلافاتنا للمصلحه العامه. وزي ان احنا قاعدين زمان احنا مع بعض، ما في حاجه جديده يعني. اليوم هنا نفس تريزا بتاعنا الزمان، نفس سليمان الزمان، نفس جنكر الزمان، قد يجوز خلافات في الراي، اختلافات في وجهه النظر. وانا باكد زي دكتور جون ده لما احنا نمسه معناه ان احنا قاعدين نهدم جنوب السودان. انا سؤالي للمعارضات، هل انتم طلعتوا عشان تهدموا جنوب السودان؟ تهدموا دكتور جون، تهدموا العلم، تهدموا المواطنين، هل ده هنا كمعارضات؟ انا سليمان ما لو ده معارضه زي ده انا ما داير معارضه، انا طلعت عشان نحل مشكله. لو المشكله اتحل والناس قالوا يجوا في السلام ويجي، انا بجي بخش اطبق سلام. لكن لو زول قال يقول يكسروا البلد ويعملوا ده، لا انا ما معارضه بعد كده، واللحظه ذاك انا بقول لا انا ما معارضه. انا بشكرك كثير جنكر،
شكرا.
وانا بقول خليك في قلبك سلام، وبقول لك الغضب ده حاجه ما انا مرت به زيلت من اجاوين مبالغ، لكن تراجعت وقدرت صليت واخواني تكلموا معي، انا برضه بتكلم معك بقول لك تراجع من الموضوع ده وربنا يبارك لك. شكرا.
الله يديك العافيه. انا دائما مع السلامه يا سليمان، انا I want us to move forward. Thank you. يار معلش ندوه قبل طلع
طلعني بعد كده يا طلعني.
انا بديك الفرصه. ويا جماعه زمن عندنا زمن بسيط، بس ان احنا دايرين نختصر الفرص، نتكلم بس كلام صغير كده ومفيد، لان في ناس كثير دايره تديهم الفرص. والفتره دي هي 1 اور زي ما انا قلت قبل، وهسه اوريدي نحن اتكلمنا 26 مينت من الساعه الثانيه، فيا ريت نحن بس يعني الكلام بتاعنا يكون مختصر كده ونموف اون. سو انا داير اديك الفرصه يا يار، اند ويلكم اولسو ويلسون لوال، ويلكم يو يار، تفضل.
مية بسلم عليكم تاني يا جماعة. طبعا عندنا صباح في أستراليا جس قمت وكده. ما في حاجة كتير بقولها يا جمهور، نحن بس دايرين نوضح حقائق. ما عندنا مشكلة مع أشخاص كأشخاص، عندنا مشكلة مع أفكار. أنت ناقد زول بفكره، ما تناقد زول كشخصه. أوكي. في فيديو بس بسيط أنا هلعبه هنا للأخ. أنا ما بحب أذكر أسماء anyway. جس ده إيمانويل كان قبل كم شهر كان بيمدح في دكتور جون وبيتكلم عنه كلام زي الفل. اسمع بس. Garang did not play poker. Neither was he selling ice cream. Garang was a revolutionary. Garang felt the pain of the oppression and marginalization in the Sudan. So as a young man, and many of his comrades like Arbino Kwanyi, who were under their 40s, and William Yon Bank, decided to rebel against the government. So in order for you to bring correction, you must have a revolution. A revolution is not friendly with those who are dictators. A revolution means
Be peaceful or armed struggle, and a change must come. You know, revolution purpose regime. You know, so in order for us as youth to unite, we must unite and decide how we want to do it. So جون جرن ده رأي بتاع الأخ إيمانويل إنه جون جرن ما كان زول إيزي، هو كان يعني مناضل ده بخشمه. أوكي. And في اتفاقية بتاع أديس أبابا أنا بس هقول في اتفاقية بتاع أديس أبابا 1972 إيمانويل قال كلام زي الشهد في دكتور جون مدحه عديل. أوكي إنه دكتور كتب لتر، دكتور جون كتب لتر. أوكي كتبوا لأنيانيا وانا مين ل اتفاقية أديس أبابا 1992
لجوزيف لاغو، كتب لتر لجوزيف لاغو.
لجوزيف لاغو، وهو بنفسه عندي ذات الفيديو هو بنفسه قال لو كان أنيانيا ده جوزيف لاغو كان سمع كلام دكتور جرن زمن ده كان ما مشينا حرب 1983 ده إيمانويل. وعندي له الفيديو ده لو في داير أنا هعمله شير في البيج بتاعي، لأنه يا جماعة هنا ما دارين نلعب بالبيض والحجر، مرة إنت كده ومرة إنت كده. وقال دكتور كابتن wrote a letter, not just a captain. okay يعني هو wrote a letter وده اللي نزل ما سمعوا كلام جون دكتور، عشان كده رجعنا في الحرب 1983. so هو بيناشد هنا بالدكتور، وبعد شوية يجي يقول سرق هنا. so يعني زول واحد بيقول كلامين في وقت مختلف، ده واحد. نمبر 2 أنا داير أتكلم عن العلم. علم بتاع الأعلام كله في العالم يعني متشابه. أوكي يعني أنت لو مشيت مثلا نيوزيلاند ومشيت I think برغواي ولا وين you know بس أكتبوا بس في يوتيوب or whatever، أكتب أعلام the flag you will see 10 countries. okay 10 countries they share similar flag. لما أنا غير حاجة جنوب السودان so أنا ما أعرف منو سرق من منو، ده حاجة دارين نسأل بيه أمباسادة ولا المولانا، دارين نسأل منو يا دولة سرق علم من يا دولة، ممكن يورينا يا جماعة. نحن we're not talking just about علم إنه ده قماش ولا كده، ده الرمز بتاع دولة. دكتور مات فعلا قالوا علم ده علم بتاع السودان، أوكي ده فعلا ده علم بتاع السودان جديد، لكن دكتور مات before وذاته ما عارف الدنيا جنوب طلع ولا ما طلع. أوكي بقى دولة different. so يعني حاجة ده كان قبل الناس ما ينفصل، لو كان دايرين الناس كلهم كان يقولوا العالم ده أول ناس القيادات يقولوا العالم ده هيغيروه مثلا. okay because هسي ده السودان is different country and we are South Sudan، كان هجري بيقولوا بطريقة كويس، لكن ما يجيبوه عشان يحرقوه عشان بقى الليلة اكتشفنا يا ده 2020 من 2011 اكتشفنا الليلة 2020 إنه عالم ده لا ده ما عالم بتاع الجنوب، ده عالم بتاع السودان. so we just begin asking فجأة you know just sudden. so ده ما كان هناك، ده I think ده ما حاجة كده قوي. العالم بتاع اليمن زي ما وريتكم الأعلام متشابهة كتير. I'm sure عملوا جوجل وجو anywhere. أنا شايف في ناس في الكومنت هنا بقول لك عالم بتاع اليمن، عالم بتاع South Sudan. go and search. You're gonna find a lot of countries they have similar flag. Okay, not even the same color. Okay, you will find even the same color. All right. دقيقة عليك على جنجول بس اديني 1 minute please.
Okay.
Yep.
I hope everybody is patient لأنه نحن طبعا we spent the 4 hours for the first video, but it was necessarily to go for another 1 hour.
I know, thank you جنجول. I think internet خزلني هنا، أنا كنت بجيب الأعلام دي ونوري للناس، لكن I know all of you are smart.
I have the
you guys gonna bring it up.
I think that's Cote d'Ivoire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
we have similar flags.
It's already showing the similarity of the flags.
Yeah. Yes. So so it's not something. It's not something like
Norway and Iceland. Look at the flag. It's quite similar. Only just the colors that are different. And then I'm going to move on to the other flag. Sorry, 1 second. A lot of flags in the world are quite similar. I don't really think it's plagiarism or anything. Sorry, 1 second. I just removed it. Here we go. There's more than 10 countries with similar flags.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This one is Sorry. Yep. So that was Iceland and Norway.
Just put it a little bit on the camera.
In Romania, Romania, you cannot even tell the difference at all between the flags.
Yes.
It's that these are two different countries, and then you have this country here, Senegal and Mali,
and Ghana.
The only difference is the star. If you come to Indonesia and I think it's Monaco.
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 Yeah, that are Monaco.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Yeah, so there we go, quite similar. And then if you look at New Zealand and Australia, look at that. Very similar as well. And then you look at Ireland and I think Cote
d'Ivoire.
Yeah, can't pronounce them. There we go, again, similarities. And then look at, again, so there's some of the European countries.
And one of Central America, that's Guatemala, and that is Spain, actually, I can see.
Yeah. So it's Ecuador, Colombia, and another country as well. Netherlands and another country, quite similar as well. So really, I think we already made a point. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you. Let's go. Yar, go ahead and finish so I can give a chance to Ajak, and then I'll give a chance to Apuk as well, and then we can wrap it up so I can bring another person here. Go ahead, Yar.
So thank you, my sister Apuk. Yeah, you made it easy for everyone. Yeah. So the point of flag هذا ورينا لإيمانويل خليه يمشي يعمل homework يشوف منو عمل copy من منو. Okay. So when we come here, Jama, South Sudanese are not stupid anymore. Okay, they're intelligent. They can go and dig and see exactly what's going on. So يعني أنت بتتكلم مع ناس قاعدين تتشجر، أنت بتتكلم مع ناس عندهم devices عندهم فاهمين بيقدروا يمشي يقروا. So before you say anything, make sure you said it right. Okay. قولوا كلام الصح. So جنوبين يا جماعة ده ما وقت هسه الناس جايين شاكلوا كلام flag. Go and use like damn flag and whatever. No. ناس كانوا شغالين في حتة فلاج يا جماعة. فلاج ده حتى لو كان قماش ده بمثل. والكلام حرق العلم أنا ما بعلق فيه كتير، لكن أنا داير أقول طبعا نحن لما نقول علم حرقه بقول لك ما ناس دولة يعطوا حرق. دولة ده كان حرق ضد قبيلة معين. علم ده ما لما حرقوه قاعدين يقول عادين كده علم تاع دينكا ما دايرين دينكا. يس علم ده ما حرقوه باسم قبيلة. حتى لما حرقوه في أمريكا بكلام بتاع فلويد أيام الفات ده ولا الشهر الفات هم ما قال we don't want white people. okay they came against something. okay so ما ممكن الليلة نحرق علم نجي نقول أنا ما داري إكواتوريا يلا نقول أي معلومة نحرق علم. no I can't do that. so يا جماعة نحن نكون إنت الليلة إنت زول بتاع معارضة إنت حاول تجيب حاجة بيجمع الناس مش تفرق. دكتور جارن كان هيكون رئيس بالكلام بتاع إيمانويل. هو قال دكتور جون لو كان بقى عايش كان هيكون رئيس بتاع السودان. لما عملوا استقبال 2 million came out. They are not just South Sudanese, even North Sudanese, they came out. okay because those all individual. How come you believe someone لو إنت ما مقتنع بآراء؟ 2 million people came out and not just South Sudanese and not just Dinka. okay so يا جماعة يا ناس المعارضة ما تلعب البيض بالحجر. we are all smart, we know what's happening. so you want to bring South Sudanese together, okay we follow you. otherwise إنت قاعد ترمي بس في بحر. أنا كلامي انتهى يا.
Shukran. Thank you, Sister Yar, for your perspective. Of course, and debate continue. أنا مسألة دينا إحنا كلامنا فيه كتير. Ajak, Clara Martin, I want to dig an opportunity so I can move to Apuk here, and then be willing to bring back Ustaz Dengit Ayok, so we may conclude because we have only 1 hour, but it look like we spend more time now in this. Ajak, go ahead, تفضل.
السلام عليكم. أنا بسلم عليكم كلكم. صوتي واضح؟
واضح جدا.
اوكي أنا بسلم عليكم كتير يا جماعة. I'm very sorry. المفروض أكون معاكم من قبل لكن كنت.
And I'm so sorry because I hear that you broke your arm.
Yeah.
I really am sorry.
عشان كده اتأخرت. but أنا بشكرك كتير جونكور لأنه the topic اللي أنت جبته ده topic مهم لنا كلنا ونحن كلنا كساوث سودانيز ونحن دايرين نشاركوا فيه. Because it's not time for us to divide ourselves again. Or it's not time for someone to عشان يجي يضللنا. زي ما قالت اختيار حسن قبل شوية. We are all well educated. We can نحن بنقدر نعرف طريقنا نحن ماشيين وين. اوكي. سو الحاجه انا ما حتكلم كتير لانه تايم بسيط. الحاجه اللي انا حقوله انه موضوع بتاع فلاج we should not even spend time about it. okay, because even الزول اللي بيتكلم about time about the flag. okay, الحزب بتاعه بس لو رجعنا.
Yeah, it's not a jack, it's not only flag. The idea is Emmanuel Ajawin actually has a very serious charge on this, very serious accusation. لأنه قال actually Dr. John plagiarized the ideas of liberation movement from Sahara People Liberation Army, which is Jabhat Polisario, you know, front of Moroccan. That's why we are asking this question. Is that really, was Dr. John Garang a fraud? Huh? Go ahead.
no طبعا انت عارف الواحد لما يكون ما عندك، لما تكون في ستريس ما عندك حاجه، اوكي، you bring what you انت بتجيب اي حاجه. انا متاكد ايمانويل اجاوين قال الكلام ده وهو ما كان قاصد اصلا، اوكي، because he finds himself like he's in a situation that he's not supposed to be there. اوكي، لان العالم ده لما حرقوه او the people step onto it، اوكي، والناس جا ناقشوا الحاجه ده، هو ده يدافع لناس كاتوري باي طريقه، اوكي، لان الناس كاتوري ده the only people now ايمانويل اجاوين can use them. لان ايمانويل اجاوين في الحزب بتاعه هو ما عنده جيش، هيعمل شنو؟ لازم يدافع لكاتوري، لكن الكاتوري ده الناس واضحين جو وضوح، هم ناس دايرين شنو؟ suppression، دايرين انه ينفصلوا من جنوب السودان، دايرين دوله بتاعهم برام. اوكي، انت حتدافع لهم ليش يعني مثلا؟ اوكي ايمانويل اجاوين لو هو انسان داير انفصال زي ما الناس الكواتوري حتى دايرين انفصال، ونحن ما عندنا مشكله، الكواتوري ده حق انه دايرين ينفصلوا، دايرين يعملوا، لكن ايمانويل اجاوين المفروض يكون في امر واقع. اوكي، انت عايز تدافع عشان اكواتوريا، انت you are using جيش بتاع اكواتوريا عشان يقفوا معاك. is that why انت قاعد تدافع or what exactly؟ اوكي، because الكلام ده هنا ما واضح، لانه انت ما عندك ريزن عشان تدافع اصلا، ده زول ماشي للانفصال. and then Equatorial, they should know this. Okay,
and I don't believe Clara, I don't believe actually all the Equatorian calling for that. There are some people actually, you know, which is I sometimes, you know, don't want to call them Equatorian. Lano in name Equatorial, that's shame on them. Al Gadin Gulagala, we are fighting for independence and fighting for those. The name Equatorial, that is shame on them. I know the vast majority of Equatorial, they are not calling for that.
Because there is none of the Equatorians step up now وقال حاجة بإنه الناس اللي عملوا ده غلط. all of them قاعدين يشجعوا إنه الحاجة ده العالم لازم يحرقوه، لأن العالم ده ما عالم بتاع جنوب السودان، لأنه هم ناس أوكي في إكواتوريا طالع فوق حسوا قال يا جماعة الكلام ده ما صح. أوكي، أنا maybe ما حضرت الشو بتاعك من الأول، maybe في ناس يتكلموا في الكلام ده، لكن so far for me ما في إكواتوري step up وقال إن إحنا ما ناس بتاع انفصال. أوكي، لو if nobody step up وقال ما قال الكلام ده still انا بقول اكواتوريا ده انفصال وده حق بالحكومه ان شاء الله ينفصلوا. انا ما عندي مشكله، انا زي داير الناس ينفصلوا عشان يمشوا يرتاحوا ذاته. لو هم بيشوفوا نفسهم ماشيين يرتاحوا في دوله بتاعهم let them move on and يشاكلوا يشيلوا دولتهم، لانه حاجه اسمه الانفصال ما في زول بيجي يديك له. you fought for it and احنا we fought for عشان يكون عندنا دوله. Equatorial if they are ready يشاكلوا يشيلوا دوله بتاعهم ده حق من حقوقهم. I'm not saying nothing about that at all. Okay, لكن I'm just about أخوي Emmanuel Ajawin that confusing. Emmanuel Ajawin أنا ما عندي حاجة personal. He's my brother and he's a very smart guy. You know, even the way he talk, I like the way بيعمل حاجاته. But sometimes he's over حاجات. He jump too much. Okay, لما jump too much أنت بتعوق نفسك and that's not good. لأنه نحن even بشوف لو رجعنا لموضوع بتاع الثورة. اوكي، حتى صورات فعلا يا اخوي ايمانويل جوكور في تشابه في صورات بتحصل. اوكي نعم. كده لو مسكنا حتى هنا في امريكا بصوره بتاع اللي هو
civil right movement
بيشابه مع باقي الصورات. اوكي، في الهند في صوره زي حصلت يعني قريب له حصلت. اوكي، يعني في انت اي انسان في الدنيا ده انت بتشيل من هنا بيشيل من هنا and then بتيجي تعمل حاجه انت there is no even problem for that. لانه even Emmanuel Ajawin من عمل الحزب بتاعه ما جاب حزب من عنده، مش جاب حزب بتاع عمه وجاب and he using the same name and ده يا شنو ده حاجه الغلط هنا. he using the same name بتاع شنو الحزب بتاع uncle بتاعه. okay, and nobody even saying nothing. is it because we don't know? No, we know. But because انت ما بتعرف انت بتعمل في شنو and then you are talking about somebody else, somebody that's shackled, somebody that spent all of his life في الثورة بتاع جنوب السودان. الثورة بتاع جنوب، الثورة بتاع بتاع الحركة الشعبية it wasn't بتاع بس جنوب السودان، it was all of the Sudan. that's why احنا متمسكين باسم بتاع السودان. ثانيا لو بدون مؤاخذة Emmanuel Ajawin, if you don't know that we are from Sudan, we are نحن الأصليين بتاع السودان. if انت بتكون نفسك انت برا ما السوداني it's up to you. طبعا الناس اللي قاعدوا في يوغندا ما كلهم ما كلهم، اغلبيه الناس اللي قاعدوا هناك ما بتلقيت نفسك انت بقيت من الاتجاه ده كده. نحن السودانيز لاخر يوم نحن السودانيز. اسم بتاع السودان ما حيمشي مننا at all totally. we never going to move nowhere. اوكي نرجع للموضوع بتاع العالم. لو شفنا الموضوع بتاع العالم هسه ده يا جونكو اوكي لا نرجع للدول العربيه. لو شفنا الدول العربيه كلهم هسه ده اوكي العالم بتاعهم كلهم بيشابهوا. ليه؟ عشان دايرين يكونوا كتله واحده. نجي نشوف هنا نحن ما دايرين نكون دولة شنو؟ عربية. حنفتش حاجة قريب لنا يكون دولة أفريقية قريب لما الدول المجاورة، وأقرب دولة لنا ليه؟ إن إحنا بنشوف حاجة مناسب لنا العالم بتاعه يكون قريب إن إحنا نكون الشبه بتاع الدول الأفريقية. شبهنا عالم بتاعنا شوية منه من دول الأفريقية ده ما فيه حاجة. أنت حسن لو مشيت فلسطين بالمناسبة فلسطين ومصر والسودان السودان وفلسطين عالم exactly the same. بس عالم بتاع فلسطين انت بتقلبه كده الاسود انت بتقلبه لفوق وبتاعنا بتاع السودان انت شنو الاسود بيكون لتحت. اوكي لو just look at them اي دول بيكونوا متكاتله بيجمعوا في حاجه معينه. فسو ان احنا جمعنا في عالم واحد، عالم بيجمعنا ده ما فيه اي حاجه اصلا. Emmanuel Ajawin, if you don't have nothing to say, please. okay لأن حاجة ده بيخرب انت ما قاعد يخرب زول تاني. بالمناسبة الموضوع بتاع العالم ده بيرجع لك انت. انا قبل شفت حاجة في الفيسبوك انه راسمين عالم بتاع جنوب السودان خطيته في البقرة and it was in the voice of people قال you guys careful ده عالم بتاع جنوب السودان. اوكي ده لو دارت اقولوا عالم بتاع الدينكا اوكي لانه الدينكا اصلا احنا ناس مخلصين. احنا دينكا مخلصين بنخلص لحاجه.
of course ده ما عالم بتاع دينكا، ده عالم بتاع جنوب السودان.
No,
a lot of people die for it including Equatoria too.
انا قاعد اقول بس الحاجه اللي انا شفته ان احنا دينكا ناس مخلصين. if one day انتوا جيتوا دايرين تغيروا العالم اخوي ايمانويل اجاوين لو جاب بطريقه رسمي وجابوا كامبنت يجي يقول نحن نناقش موضوع العالم he is more welcome to be honest. اوكي لانه عنده حق من حقوقه انه يناقش الحاجه ده. لكن ما في زول واحد ما عارفين نسوي خلاه يعمل الحاجه اللي عمله and then انت كزول مثقف زول بتعرف what you doing and then you jump to it. you just jump to it without even know. اوكي ورطت نفسك في حاجه انت ذاتك you don't know what you doing. اوكي الزول الحسن اللي استعبنتوا على ولا الحرق العام ده لو انت سالته ذاته الحاجه في راسه اللي خلاه يعمل كده ده ما هي حاجه في راس ايمانويل اجاوين. ايمانويل اجاوين went so far.
كلارا زمن انتهى، زمن ماشي انتهي. انا داير ادي باقي ده ابوك and then we move on. نجيب دنجدي دا يوك. thank you so much. I know you made a lot of point and yeah that's the spirit you know we need to
خلينا عاد حاجه بسيط بس قبل ما امشي. حاجه بسيط بس about انه all of الناس الاختلاف الحاصل هسه ده في المعارضات ده حاجه بس I want to add to it. okay it's very important. it's very important for all of the معارضات انه يجتمعوا في حاجه واحد. ما ضروري الهدف بتاعهم كله يكون واحد. الهدف بتاعكم يكون واحد. الهدف انه الناس دايرين يغيروا الحكومه في جنوب السودان يكون الهدف. حتى لو انت عندك بنود ثانيه تحت الحاجه ده it's okay. لكن انا شايفه المعارضه متفككين اكثر من الناس بتاع الحكومه بالمناسبه and that's totally wrong. الناس دايره تتوحد وما تخلوا حاجه بسيطه دايره ما تخلوا زول واحد يشوش الدنيا كله. you guys need to go back to the track and do what you guys supposed to do and leave that person that want to mess up everything that انه هو بيشوف نفسه انه بيعرف everything. no he doesn't know a lot of things. انت كبني ادم في حاجات قاعد يفوتك زي ما حاجه الموضوع ده حسب فاتك let him go. and there في ناس كثيره معارضات كثيره. you guys need to come together. all of us need to come together and work through one thing. and thank you so much brother.
Thank you, Clara Martin, for elaborating and adding your perspective. It was good having you. Apuk Jane Marol, it's been a long time. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Of
Thank
course, we
you.
have a lot to say in this regard. So please,
Yeah.
the forum is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, Jonkor, you're doing a great job in terms of, having a platform, volunteering your time to speak about the issues that are, core to our heart. Unfortunately, I don't speak Arabic, so I will make my point in English. So I apologize to viewers that do not understand language other than Arabic. Anyways, coming to the whole flag thing, I think a lot of people have already spoken about it, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time or putting emphasis on that. That flag is legitimate and it's recognized. A lot of flags around the world are quite similar. And you can't say that, oh, it was plagiarized, because usually when something is plagiarized, who's in charge of it? Who's in charge of determining whether
Mm-hmm.
or not it's been plagiarized or not? Because if the flag of South Sudan was plagiarized and there was a committee in place or an organization that cross-checked, they would have definitely said, look, unfortunately, you have plagiarized this flag, you should not use it. Or South Sudan as a country would have been sued ages ago by that organizing body or whatever it is. So let's just ignore that for now. Because to me, I think it's not something that we should waste our time. In terms of burning the flag, I am one person that is entirely against that. I think if you're very angry at something, if you're mad at something, there's a different way that you can communicate. And if your anger has driven you to that level of burning a national flag, well, that's a judgment on you, because one day, one time, if you're going to come into the country and you want to lead, people will look at you and say, well, are you recognizing the same flag that you burned in this year? So that's
And,
need to be
and that a book, and that's one of the reasons I challenge Emmanuel Ajawin. Actually, you
yeah,
are preaching people to go and burn the goddamn flag. But why don't you
yeah,
do it in yourself so we can see it? If
yeah.
that's a political suicidal you're doing, now go
I,
ahead.
I Yeah, Jonko, I agree with you. I think people need to be really careful, particularly these individuals that are trying to open their own organizations or political parties. You need to be very mindful that if your political party, if the ideology is for division, for dividing, and targeting a particular group within that society, your success. Sorry, I'm getting flus. I'm a bit, yeah. Your success rate will be very, very low, and a lot of people are watching. And as my sister Clara Martin has mentioned before, in today day and age, no one is dumb anymore to be fooled by certain individuals. So that's something that you really need to be mindful of. So if you are one of those politicians that want to use the olden days, mentality of trying to put people or pin people against each other, you're not going to be successful. So my advice I'm not targeting this to a certain individual, but generally to all the politicians out there that are recognized, that have registered their political parties or whatever, be mindful. Talk about ideas. Talk about things that you believe are not being done correctly and how they can be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you will have a lot of followers, because people are not following you because of your tribe. People are following you because of your ideas. People are following you because of the change that you want to bring. So this notion of people coming on social media targeting a specific tribe or particular tribe, saying things that are really horrible about them. For example, there's this word that I feel like is currently being used too much, and it's overly used to the point where it's losing its meaning. People are using, things like, oh, these particular tribe are bad, they rape people, they're dirty, they're like this, they're like that. And I'm like, is that what you're fighting for? Really, is that what you want? Is that the sort of voice you want to represent? Is that the voice of people? Name calling, targeting, trying to make certain people look bad, painting an image. Well, if that is the ideas that you have, and if that is what makes you have a voice, and then I'm sorry, because that is not really the voice that we're looking for. That's not the voice of our society. So what I'm saying is, this is just an advice going out there to any individuals that feel like, you know, they can use people, because I know, in South Sudanese society, majority of people are still illiterate, in a sense that they can just see any information, find any information, and believe it. And it's sad because there's so much information out there, but it's up to you as an individual to analyze and see exactly what is that person doing. Because right now, what few individuals are doing on social media is that what they do is, okay, yep, there's this tribe, they feel marginalized, they hate this tribe. So you know what? I'm gonna use them. And how am I gonna use them? I'm gonna pin them against each other. And so I'll come in and make myself look like I am this, Jesus Christ, the savior that is trying to come up with these great ideas. And then, but trust me, that person is not gonna, politically, you're ruining your own political career. So if some of my brothers out there want to be politicians and they want to lead, please lead us with ideas. All right, talk about Medicare, talk about, I don't know, education, talk about things that are really important, social injustices. Don't talk about individuals, don't talk about people, and please put a respect on Dr. John Garang. All right, he is one of our freedom fighters, one of the people that really fought for the success. And that's the reason why we are where we are right now. Without him, I feel like we would have still been fighting the war. So if you're going to come out here and try to, you know, disregard some of the things that he has done in history, well, that's quite disappointing. Burning a flag is one thing, okay, and accusing one of the icons or one of the well-renowned politician in our country is another thing as well. And you're going to make yourself more enemies than you think. You're going to lose supporters. And I'm not talking here about Dinka. I'm talking about South Sudanese, because we all know Dr. John Garang. No one does not know him, right? He's a legend. He's a hero. He's a freedom fighter. So for someone that is like underdog to come in and like say, oh, Dr. John Garang was like this and it was just simply because he was a Dinka, I think that's something that's really concerning. It's very concerning, and people need to refrain from that kind of politics, because it's not going to take you anywhere. Majority of people that are quite highly educated will watch you and they will analyze every single thing that you're doing. So Facebook, remember, the videos that you're making right now will not be deleted in a very long time. So 30 years from now, you're going to come up and you want to lead us. And we're going to retrieve all these data and use it against you. So be very, very careful about what you say about certain tribes, about what you say about certain individuals, because you will need these people. And John Core, just before I go, this is what I always
Yeah, go
say,
ahead.
you know. Um, Politics is all about ideas. It's about changing the minds and the hearts. It's about winning the minds and the hearts. If you come up with a good idea right now that I feel like will benefit me, will benefit everyone, I'll support you 100%, irregardless of your tribe,
Correct.
irregardless wherever you're coming from or who you're coming from, because I resonate with your idea. But if you're going to come around and try to use certain um, ways of trying to put your way, you're not gonna go anywhere. Your political career will end up here on Facebook. That's where it's gonna end. It's not gonna go anywhere. And a lot of these political uh things that, or rallies that are being organized on social media, these are just individuals, really. And that's the reason why I don't want to I don't even want to mention Equatorians' name, because it's not all Equatorians are like that. It's just few individuals on Facebook that have their own personal hate towards certain people that are like very vocal on these things. And you can even see it comes across like that. The real Equatorians that understand the importance of running a country, they don't involve themselves in these things. Okay, they don't. Or if they speak of the country. They speak of the things that are going wrong in the country, and we all agree. All right, there are certain things that needs to be reformed. There are certain things that need to be changed, and all of us are on board. And if you come and speak about these things 100%, you will have a lot of supporters. But if you come here and target the Equatorians, target the Nuer, target the Dinka, and then you're turning around, you're targeting the Shilluk, your political career will not be successful. So just going back to, I don't want to mention name, to these individuals that are trying to play that dirty politics. That politics was, I think it used to be successful back in the days when we didn't have a lot of internet. But nowadays we have internet. It's just a matter of 1 second and the information is shared everywhere. And you will have analysts. There will be people that will analyze these things and say, whoa, this person is lying. And they will come after you. I'm telling you, they won't leave you alone. So be mindful. Don't lie. Don't lie to people, because we're not young. We're not children anymore. We're adults. We're educated. Okay? So again, if you're just trying to cheer up negativity, it's not going to be good. So if you want to be a politician in the future, please be mindful. Fight the war of ideas. Don't fight the war of tribalism and hate and preaching all this nonsense. It's not going to lead you anywhere. And I don't blame him. I don't blame the people that do that, because if you look at the way that the people back home that are governing us, the way they operate, you can see that they're supporting what is happening on social media. There are people that are being glorified for doing negative things, and I find it very disappointing.
Yeah, yeah.
Disappointing. So I'm not going to go to that. I'm just going to focus more on the burning of the flag, negatively talking about one of our iconic, and accusing him of what he has not done. He has not plagiarized anything. I don't believe so. And even if he did, that's fine. We all get inspired. No one here would say was not inspired by a certain thing. There is an event that happens that inspires you to do a certain thing. And I think if Dr. John Garang, plagiarized the idea of liberating us, and then wow, what a good idea. What a smart gentleman, very intelligent. So I have respect for Dr. John Garang. He's just one of my icon for to all South Sudanese and millions of South Sudanese as well. So let's just be respectful. Just because he's from Dinka does not necessarily mean that people can come out here and negatively talk about him. That's just wrong. It's very wrong, and it needs to be condemned. So thank you, John Cora. I'll give you a chance to allow other people to come and participate.
Thank you, Apuk, for coming on and adding your perspective. It's been a long time, but it was good, to have you on the show tonight and add your perspective. Thank you so much. I'm gonna move ahead and see others who wanted to add that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, with that, my dear brothers, I want to bring Ustaz Dengdi Ayok one more time because he has a point to make. But unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity to do so. So let me call back Ustaz Dengdi Ayok here because he was here, but I couldn't. Let me go ahead and do this, and then I'll be able to get him back. I hope Dengdi Ayok didn't sleep. It's already night, really, really early morning, I believe so, where he is in Africa. So, Ustaz Dengdi.
Hello.
Yes, Ustaz Dengdi, welcome back. And actually,
Hello.
yes, I hear you, Ustaz Dengdi.
Good.
Yes. So, Ustaz Dengdi, we would like to conclude, and that's why I want to give you this opportunity to move on. I know the topic of plagiarism and burning the flag has dominating the show tonight, and even we did not go to the other two, the topic that we're supposed to be discussing today. But anyway, we are going to have more times, for the next weeks to come, and we will be able to discuss this. But before I go, you know that I came back for the second time in order for people to finish their thoughts. I want you, to finalize and summarize your point before we go ahead here and conclude. Go ahead, Ustaz Dengdi.
Yeah, the issues discussed tonight are three issues. The first one is the issue of plagiarism. And we said that the accusation level against the Garang de Mabior by Emmanuel Ajawin is not correct. And I personally asked him to bring the evidence that shows this plagiarism. That's number one. Yes. Number two, it was clear that the recent changes made by the president in the government institution, the removal of Minister of Finance and National Revenue Authority General Director, and the Nile Fed Director General. I said that all these changes made by the president will not change the status quo in the Republic of South Sudan, because we have seen President Salva Kiir right from 2005 until now, firing and hiring government officials. So it is just a game. It is a game of those who are satisfied getting out and those who are hungry getting in to continue looting. So this thing will never change the situation in the government. And therefore, I said that the only change is that the government must be removed, because Salva Kiir is not fixing South Sudan. Instead, he's destroying it. He's destroying a very precious country, a great people that have fought for a very long time and earned independence by their blood for themselves and for the next generation. So this country should not be destroyed. So the solution South Sudan, we need to unite ourselves. We need to come together as one people speak one voice, stand together as one man, so that we remove this government through popular uprising. Coming to the third topic. The third topic is the issue of RBA. And for those who have been following the issue of RBA, recently General Hamdan Daglu, visited Juba, and the issue of RBA was discussed in in the house of Kuraji, one of the government businessmen in Juba. So in that meeting, the issue of RBA was raised and it was discussed. And then later on, the president discussed the same issue of RBA with Deng Alor, who is in charge of RBA issue. And last week in Khartoum, the delegation went to Khartoum under the leadership of Deng Alor and Tutkel, who is the security advisor of the president. And then the issue of RBA was discussed once again. And in January this year, on the 22nd of January, we all witnessed what happened in RBA, that people were attacked in RBA and houses were burned down, villages were burned down, people were killed. And we all cried for the people of RBA because their blood is shed every now and then by the Masseria, the tribes that are on the border with Sudan. And then the government of South Sudan did nothing about it. So what I would like to say about the issue of RBA is that the government of South Sudan is not serious for finding a lasting solution for the issue of RBA. The final status of RBA will not be determined or will not be decided by this government, because it is this very government that has delayed the issue of RBA. It is this very government that did not recognize the outcome of RBA referendum, which was held in October 2013, and the people of RBA voted by the percentage of more than 97% in favor of South Sudan. They decided to join the Republic of South Sudan. And of course, they are part of South Sudan, and they will always continue to be part of South Sudan. But the government in Juba did not then recognize the results of the referendum. So this one can condemn the government of President Salva Kiir Mayardit. Every time people are killed in Abyei, the government in Juba do nothing. And we know that in the area there's a presence of UNISFA forces that were mandated to keep peace, security, and tranquility in the area, but they have failed to protect the civilians in the area, because the Masseria gunmen, the Masseria armed every now and then come to the area and then kill people under the rest watch of the very UNISFA forces, but they did nothing. We all know that the paramount chief of RBA, Kual Adol, was killed despite the presence of the UNISFA forces in the area. So the issue of RBA has come again. It has come up again. It has surfaced once again. And in that meeting, which was held in Khartoum, it was concluded that another meeting would be arranged, and then the issue would be discussed, and then a lasting solution would be achieved in RBA, and the final status of RBA would be determined. But I doubt the keenness of the government in Juba, the seriousness of the government that we have in Juba. I doubt it, and I don't believe that the government we have in Juba would solve the issue of RBA, because the people of RBA have been crying all this time. They have been brutally killed, and the government was just there watching. And the results of RBA referendum were taken to the parliament to be discussed, but the government did nothing. Instead, the president ordered the speaker of the parliament not to discuss the RBA referendum results. And then all the sons and daughters of RBA and the entire population of South Sudan were frustrated and disappointed when the president ordered the speaker of the parliament to withdraw the agenda or the RBA referendum results from the main agenda that was tabled in front of the parliament. So this government will not find a solution for our people in Abyei. I don't believe it. Maybe the new government, the new revolutionary government in Khartoum, under the new leadership, would reach some compromises with the government, but the government in Juba is not the government that can find the solution for the issue of Abyei, because the government has been all this time mistreating the sons and daughters of Abyei. You will recall that Luke Abyei was forced out from the country, and he was called a foreigner. And many people in the government are calling the sons and daughters of Abyei foreigners. They refer to them as Sudanese nationals. And of course, we are all Sudanese, whether you are in the rest of the Sudan that we succeeded from, or in the other Sudan, the new Sudan, or the Republic of South Sudan. We are all Sudanese, because the identity is still the same. But there is a belonging. To which country between the two countries do we belong? Do we belong to South Sudan, or do we belong to Sudan? Of course, the people of Abyei belong to South Sudan, and that is their original place, and they will always remain as South Sudanese. So I don't have confidence in the government of President Salva Kiir that this government will bring a lasting solution. Although the current political situation in Sudan is a situation that can help the two countries find a solution for the problem of Abyei, but the government of President Salva Kiir is not willing to find a lasting solution for the problem of Abyei. Instead, this government wants the people of Abyei to remain hanging between the two Sudan. And recently, Francis Mading published a book that is called Abyei Between the Two Sudan. So I think he's talking about these issues. The issue that the sons and daughters of Abyei, the people of Abyei, remain hanging between the two states. But in my personal opinion, they are not hanging. They are already citizens of South Sudan, according to the articles that we have in the Constitution. And according to their history, they are part of the people of South Sudan. So this is what I can say. Maybe the government of Burhan and the government of Abdullah Hamdok, on their side, maybe they are serious to find the solution for the problem.
Well,
but I doubt our own president, and I doubt his government that they will find a solution for this. So this is what I can say. So the only solution is that this government must go. And after this government is gone, then the new government will be the one to negotiate now the issue of Abyei with the new Sudanese government, with the revolutionary government. So this is what I can say about the issue of Abyei. Thank you.
Thank you, Ustaz Dengdira York. I know, we spent quite a time, quite a night for you there in Africa. Thank you so much for being always there and articulate in your point. I really, really appreciate you coming on today. It was a quite challenge, You issue a lot of challenge, which is really, for people who were watching and listening, they have, already listened to what you have said. So I would like to thank you, and please have a wonderful night. And until we meet again, inshallah, next week. Thank you.
The same to you. Thank you. And I thank all the viewers for their patience and for being there to follow what we're saying. Bye.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ustaz Dengdid. I really appreciate you for coming on and adding this very important perspective. At the end of the day, I know نحن زي ما أنا كلمت اليوم المستنقع دي ما كان المستنقع اللي أنا عايزين نمشي فيها. But you know what? It has been long time. This thing has been going on for quite some time. لما حاجة تكتر الناس تبدأ تصدق وتؤمن بأنه الكلام اللي بيقال عنك ولا الكلام اللي بيقال عن منظمة الفلاني صحيح. فلا بد إنه شنو الحقيقة يقال. وزي ما أنا قلت قبل, I read a quote for Martin Luther King, and I want to remind you about this quote. Dr. Martin Luther King said, "We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence. We must rise to the majestic highest of meeting physical violence with soul forces." And this is what we have been doing. The marvelous new militancy, which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to distrust of all white people. You know what? For a very long time, and I'm still. All this will not change my route, will not change my path. Okay? As I said it from the beginning clearly, my face, my behaviors, what I do has been vindicated by those who watch since 2017. And I will continue to do so. Anyone that want to level me, anyone that want to just paint me with whatever, is up to them. But I'm still with peace. I'm still against the government of Salva Kiir Mayar. I'm still against the Gen Council of Elders because it takes moral obligation and moral courage. You know, I'm not complicit whatsoever. I've been talking for all issues that affecting our people, from Northern Barkazal to Numali to Rang, to Bibor, in Juba, in Ye, whatever. But there are some people actually who are not interested in this unity and peace and tranquility. But you know what? Let them do whatever they wanted to do. But I chose this. This is a volunteer job, and I chose this route. And because I chose this route, we will continue. We talked many, and we already, introduced to you last time the four evils that our country are facing, four evils that were introduced by this government. MLS, I call it MLCW, which is mismanagement, lack of services, and corruption and war. These are MLCW, have been created by this government, and that's why we must unite as the people of South Sudan. We must unite and address this issue. Talk about clean water, talk about the school, talk about road, talk about medicine, talk about justice, and refrain yourself from talking about, oh, the Dinka are the bad, the Nuer are the bad, the Bari are the bad. That's not a political campaign. That's hate. You're cultivating hate. And we know we have some, actually, they inherit hate. And them hate Maurusa. So why going that direction? Unless you have a plan. Unless you have a plan to disintegrate this nation. Unless you have a plan to continue more and more and more creating and cultivating hate, which is we reject as the people of South Sudan. So with that, I would like to thank you for being here, for watching. أنا ما عندي عقل باطني. I am مواطن جنوب Sudan غيور, but I can agree to disagree with you. But if you want to do something which is not good, which is going to affect everyone in the future, listen, we are the generation of the time. I will stand firm and I will say, no, wrong is wrong and right is wrong. We know what happening in Juba is wrong, and that's why we speak up. But you don't make two wrong, Juba is wrong, and then you want to bring something wrong that will going to affect people in the future. No, you don't preach hate. You don't preach division. I rejected that. So with that, I would like to thank you so much for watching and being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Until we meet again next week at the same time, inshallah. Thank you. You have a good night.